where you wanna be, cause you know we gon' talk about it. Let's talk about it. Get in here, we in here tonight. So get in here, we in here to vibe.
Hey, everybody. Happy Monday. Happy Monday to everybody. How y'all doing? How are y'all doing? Hope everybody is doing good. Hey, me, I see you in here. You the first one in here. Hey, Tinkers, Ruthanna. Hey, Free, Deanne, Lynn Ross, Tammy B. I see you, Cheryl. Who else? I see Yolanda, Trisha, P. Glam. Hey, Cheryl. Hey, Glenn, Carmel, Cutie. I see you, girl. Diane, Janet, Nateria. Some of y'all ain't seen in a while. Deborah, Kimberly. I see you in the house. Shalandra, Island Girl, Tamika, Tandra, Melinda, KJ. I see you, girl. Dimitri, Valerie, Tamira. Hey, Teresa. Hey, Elizabeth. Hey, Candy Girl. And Rita. Hey, 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 everybody. I'm gonna wait for a couple more people to come in. But listen, I hope you guys' day is going well. I was supposed to be on at 6, which is about 20 minutes ago. But it's okay because I had to do some things, okay? Hey, Outlaw Bella, I see you in here. So listen, I hope y'all had a good weekend. It's raining like cats, dogs, mouse, and rats here in Houston over the weekend. But you know what? We managed through. I think everybody is safe. I think. I ain't seen a whole lot, but I don't even be watching local news like that. Maybe I need to start. I'll be watching everything else but local news. But anyway, I got a story for y'all today. I got a story for y'all today. I mentioned a little bit about it the last time I was on. Hey, Shantae, I see you. She said, hey, everybody. Hey, Gina. Who else just came in? First of all, listen, I mentioned this story last week, and I said I wanted to bring it to you because it's actually, listen, it's a story that happens a lot, but the person don't get caught, okay? So, I said, dang, why is it that when someone wants to leave a relationship, they just can't leave peacefully, right? They just can't go on about their way, get on down the road, go on and harass and be a narcissist or be a damn abuser to somebody else, right? Why do they have to always try to destroy or deplete the egg? Just go on about your business, go on about your way. You don't want me, I don't want you, just leave. But no, more often than not, they don't want to just leave. They want to destroy you. They want to destroy the ex. Hey, Jamaica, I see you, girl. Hey, Rashida. They want to destroy the ex. Some of them will go as far as what Alan did, okay? Alan Gessen is the guy I'm going to talk about today, okay? They don't want to just leave. They want to destroy you or they want to get rid of you. They don't want to see you happy. They don't want to see you move on. They don't want to even have to see you no more. But how is that possible? How can somebody say they love you, you birthed 2 children for them, and they want you gone off this earth, away from y'all's children? How is that possible? How is it possible? Well, it is. And it happens more often than not, okay? So today we're going to talk about, let me put it on stage for you. This guy right here. His name is Alan Gessen. And I may be saying it wrong, Gessen, Gessen. He is an attorney out of Massachusetts, well-traveled, been around. Hey, Callie, I see you in the house. He said, what's up, sis? Just got off, just checking in for a second. Peace to the chat. Hey, Callie, you always welcome, bro. Listen, he's an attorney, a professional, okay? He got a career going on, well-traveled, then been to this country, that country. He met Priscilla, and I'm going to attempt to say her name, Chigaria. I may be saying it wrong. If I am, it's okay. Priscilla Chigaria, he met her in Zimbabwe, okay? He met her, they fell in love, or whatever the case may be. And they went on to have 2 children together, okay? They went from Zimbabwe, they lived in Russia, and then they came to the United States, okay? They were living in Massachusetts. She, out of her own words, he was abusive, he was controlling, he was a narcissist, okay? So she didn't want to be with him no more, but she did birth 2 children for him, okay? I want to say the kids was 3 and 8 or something like that at the time. She birthed 2 children and she said, I can't do this abusive relationship no more. Hey, Tanya. Hey, Tammy B. So she wanted out of the relationship. For some reason, when these women want out of the relationship, what do y'all think the man do? He want custody of the kids. He's like, oh, if you're going to leave my kids behind. She's like, no, I'm not leaving the kids behind. So they go on to have a long custody battle, fighting back and forth. Who's going to keep the kids? Who's going to get the kids? Who's going to get the kids? He wanted the kids. She's like, no, you're not getting my kids, okay? So they fought back and forth for the children, okay? He didn't like it, even though he was an attorney, well-established attorney here in the U.S. He didn't like the fact that he had to fight an immigrant woman, right? For his children. So what did he try to do? He tried to bribe immigration to get her deported. He said, I don't even want her here in the U.S. no more, goddamn it. Get her out of here. I don't even want her here no more. He paid money to get her gone, to bribe an immigration officer to get her deported. But then he says, you know what? Hold on. I changed my mind. I don't want to pay to get her deported no more because that's going to cost too much money, okay? He says, I don't want to get her deported. I want her depleted from the earth. I want her gone. I don't want to ever see her no more. Because if I pay his money to get her deported, I may come across the wrong deportation officer and he may catch on to my plot and she may end up staying in the U.S. That was his fear. Okay? So because of his connections, him being an attorney and all, he was introduced, let me just say, he was introduced to an undercover FBI agent, okay? Now, he was introduced to an agent on a whole different case, right? He didn't know the guy was an agent because the guy was working undercover, right? But he was introduced to this guy, and for the life of me, I don't understand why he felt so comfortable meeting a stranger, right? Who happens to be an undercover agent. You right, Dimitri. We're going to tie it in, girl. We're going to tie it in. He met this guy, right? And he felt free and comfortable to explain his situation about wanting to get rid of his ex. Now, I'm going to say ex-wife because they were together in Zimbabwe, and in Zimbabwe, they have a tradition. You don't have to actually have a ceremony to be considered married, right? If you choose to give the father or the lady's parents a gift, right? You give them a gift that signifies a union, a marriage, okay? So he did that. So in Zimbabwe, he's considered married, okay? Now in the United States, that was just his baby mom, okay? But in Zimbabwe, because he gave the gifts to the father, he is considered married, okay? They don't consider you just dating when you've been living together, you have kids together, and you have given the parents a gift in exchange for their daughters in, their daughter's hand, okay? So some people say, no, they're not married. Some people say they are married, okay? So I'm just going to say baby's mom, right? Because in the United States, they did not have a marriage certificate, okay? So again, he felt comfortable to discuss his disdain for his baby's mom. He told this undercover FBI agent that he wanted her gone, okay? So they meet twice, him and the FBI agent, one in Boca Raton, Florida, and again in New York City. And both times they discussed how much he did not want her to exist, okay? Now, at first, again, through voicemail and text message, he communicated with this undercover FBI agent, letting them know that he wanted his baby's mom, 1, deported, and 2, depleted from the earth. Okay, I'm gonna read some of the exchange that him and the undercover officer had together. That the undercover officer ended up turning on him, rightfully so, right? And telling on him and getting him in trouble. Okay, but this is how free that this man felt in disgusting, and how he just wanted this girl gone, right? So he says, and this is some text message that was used in the courts. Okay. Let me go back up here right quick. Hold on. He says, at first he asked for her to get deported, right? But he said if there is a cheaper way to get rid of her, that would be good too. And it would be more definite. Because the issue with immigration being so many lawyers, if I come across a bad guy, she may end up staying, okay? And what he meant by come across a bad guy, come across a guy that wants to go by the rules, okay? That's what he meant when he said, if I come across a bad guy, she may end up staying. So if I come across a guy that want to be dressed right? And pay attention to the rules and realize that the baby mom, Priscilla, didn't do anything to be deported. If I come across one that wants to abide by the law, then she may be able to get to stay, okay? He said, and I don't want that to happen, all right? He said, so I want to make sure whoever orchestrates this, make sure the kids are not present. So that's why he asked to get rid of her, meaning to, de-ex her, okay? Deplete her, right? He says, I want it done in a way where the kids are not present. He even went on to tell the undercover FBI agent, this is not a spur of the moment emotional reaction, meaning I can just wake up today and think about getting rid of my baby's mom. I've been thinking about this thing for a while. He told the FBI agent, I even went a step further and previously hired a hitman, okay? I gave them $10,000. Now, this is what the attorney is telling this undercover agent. I reached out to a group of Israelis, right? I hired them, gave them $10,000 to come to the United States and surveillance her home, okay? They came all the way and surveillance her home. He gave them her whole schedule. When she leave the house, when she come home, where she hang out at, where she pick the kids up at, what time she pick the kids up, what time she make it back to the house. He gave them her whole entire schedule, and they surveillance her for a week. She did not know this. She was being followed. She was being seen. She was being watched for a week by a group of men that were supposed to off her. But they came back and said, all right, we'll do it. We'll do it. But it's going to be $220,000. He said, yeah, hey, 220? 220? So he gave him $10,000, which means that he would have owed another $210,000. Yeah, that's a little bit too rich for my blood. I was looking for a bargain, okay? I was looking for like the Walmart special, okay? The Kmart blue light special. I wasn't trying to pay full price, is what he said, okay? He said, nah, that's a little bit too much. I can't do 220. Can you give me a discount? They said, nah, If we're gonna risk our reputation, risk our livelihood, we need more money. He said, nah, I'm not gonna be able to do it. So he called it off. This was the first attempt to take her out. Because he did not want to pay them the other 210, he paid them 10,000 now. Because he did not want to pay them the other 210,000, he called it off. She was saved, y'all. She was saved. She was spared. Okay? But then this undercover agent that he met, he said, we'll do it for 50K. He said, say what? Say what? What you just say? He said, we'll do it for 50K, 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 50K. He said, 50K? Really? The undercover officer said, yes. We'll do it for 50K and we'll make sure the kids are nowhere around. She will be taken out without them present, is what the undercover agent said. He says, but I expect you to pay half up front and the other half when the job is completed. These are text messages, okay? So then Gessen says, I need to know the full amount again so I'll know how much half is. He said, I said the full amount is 50K. He said, all right, gotcha, okay? I got you. So what did he do? He wired, now don't ask me why he wired this amount because it don't add up, right? But he wired 23,000 to a bank account that belongs to the undercover FBI agent. 23,000, okay? He gave it to him. He wanted it done. He said, now this taking place in June, the month of June, okay? He said, well, when will the job be done? He said, the last week in July. He said, the last week in July meaning next month? He said, yes, the last week in July meaning next month. He said, damn, let's go. He gave him $23,000. He just knew. He knew in 1 month, in 30 days, that he ain't gonna have no more problems, honey. He thought that all this battle with the custody of the children would be done. He would have custody of his 2 kids, go on and date somebody else, abuse somebody else, cuss somebody else out, put hands on somebody else. Now, let me back up for a second because I got to say something. The reason why I put the picture up here with her black eye, well, it's red, but, busted eye. Y'all see this picture that I put up here with her busted eye? When he hired the people to surveillance her, they broke in her house and beat her up. They left her with this black eye. Now, it may look like he did it. He did put hands on her. She had said in different interviews with people that he used to hit her so hard that it would knock her out, like knock her unconscious. The man, of course, he mentally abused her and he also physically abused her. And he also used to go and physically remove her son, take her son and keep her son for a while and try not to give her son back to her, okay? Now, her being an immigrant from another country and coming to the United States, she didn't know all her rights, okay? So they had to go to court for this, for that, for her to get her children back, okay? Now, I'm going to stop for a minute and just say, this story sounds familiar, right? It sounds more like the Korra Obidi story, right? And that's what made me want to do it because these men get these women that's not familiar with the American law, right? They have children by them. They bring them over here and they feel like they can treat them any kind of way and get away with it because they feel like they know the law better than these women that they bring over here and abuse, okay? They bring them over here and abuse. And I'm going to say this, and I'm going to get back on topic, but I'm going to say this, okay? This is not a black or white issue. However, I'm going to tell you this. Black women, some, that marry these white men, they keep the abuse undercover because they flaunt their relationships with these white men as if it's like some type of trophy, okay? So they don't want their other people, their black friends, their black family, or whatever the case may be, to know they're getting their ass beat by these white men. They want other people to think that they're in this perfect, blissful relationship. Now, I'm not saying that all relationships that are they marry these foreigners are like this. Okay, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying a lot of times these foreign women come over here and they keep their mouth closed about their abuse because they want one, floss, and two, they want to stay in the U.S. Okay, so they take them away from their family, they take them away from their connections, they bring them over here and they mistreat them. Okay, with the hopes of being able to get away with it. All right. Angel said, being a foreigner with no family is easy for a man to control, and the person don't know the law. Exactly, Angel. Okay, exactly. They do that. They think the American man, well, he was dual citizenship. Okay, but the American man thinks that he know more than a foreign woman. Okay, and he does about the law and stuff like that. Right. Anyway, let's get back to this horrible ass man. Okay, so. Okay, he tried to pay to get her deported. Then he changed his mind because it was going to cost too much. It was going to cost $100,000 to have her deported. But when this undercover agent told him it's only going to be $50,000 to have her off, he agreed to the $50,000. He wired the $2,300 to the FBI agent. He even sent a contract, a written contract, okay, containing the payment. He tried to make it seem like it was some type of consulting service, okay? He did that to disguise the nature of the money being sent to the undercover agent. All right. With the $23,000, the phony contract, he also gave the undercover agent the same thing that he gave the men that surveillanced her for a week. He gave them her schedule. He gave them her whereabouts, where the school kids go to school, with what time she picked them up, everything about her. He knows her lifestyle habits. She go and get her nails done here. She get her hair done here. She goes visit her family here. The kids go to school here. She shops at this grocery store here. Okay. He gives them a detailed outline of what and where that they can find his baby's mom so they can do the job. But his only requirement was what? Make sure my two children are nowhere around. That was his concern. His concern was he didn't want his kids nowhere around when the job was done. Okay? Now here's the thing. Again, it was an undercover FBI agent. Had it not been an undercover FBI agent, Priscilla Shicario would not be here today. Okay? She would be gone, done, depleted. And he would have his two kids and he would be raising them. And he would probably talk crap about the mom like she wasn't, like she was in trouble anyway. He wouldn't talk positive toward her, I'm sure, right? But the undercover agent did what he was supposed to do. He turned it in, okay? So the man was indicted and brought against charges for trying to off his baby mom, all right? They had a trial, a week-long trial. He was found guilty and sentenced to the maximum, which is 10 years, 120 months, okay? And which I don't understand that, because 10 years and you just try to get me off? 10 years? I don't understand why it's only 10 years. I feel like it should have been longer. But he got 10 years, and once he completes the 10 years, he will have to be on probation for 3 additional years, supervised probation. But I still do not believe that that's enough time for a man with proof. It was with proof that he tried to carry out a murder for hire plot against his baby's mom, all because he wanted custody of his own children and he wanted her gone. He did not want to have to deal with no type of custody battles. And listen to this, y'all. Guess why? Because he was an attorney and he said, I don't want to have to pay her a lot of money in child support. That is the reason why he wanted custody, one, and he wanted her out of the kid's life, because he didn't want to pay a lot of money in child support, y'all. That is the reason why he wanted custody in the first place, okay? And that is what he told the undercover cop. He said, if she wins custody, I would have to pay her a lot in child support. So because this attorney, you heard me, attorney did not want to have to pay a lot in child support. He wanted custody of his children and he wanted her gone. He did not want to have to fight no longer. Okay. Okay. But let me tell you what else he did. He filed a motion, right, to have it thrown out. He said, because he's an attorney, he know the law, right? He filed a motion and he says, per the United States law, and he quoted it, whatever, right? He says to be charged with murder for hire, you have to have wanted the person that you gave the money to carry out the crime. He says, I gave the money to this guy, and this guy had no intentions of carrying out the crime. He was going to hire someone else. So because of that, he filed a motion for it to be thrown out. He said, y'all can't get me on this. I want a new trial. Because again, the guy that I paid the money to had no intentions of carrying out. Well, the judge said, get somebody else to do it. Hell no. Your motion is denied. Okay, your motion for appeal is denied and you're going to prison for 10 years, bro. All right. So right now, he is sitting in prison. He got charged and convicted. And now he is doing 10 years. Yes, it was premeditated. He wanted her gone. He did not want to pay child support, which I think is outrageous because those are your children. He didn't want to pay child support. And he wanted her deported. And oh, yeah, let me tell y'all this. When he did the motion to have it thrown out, the appeal, he says, I admit I tried to have her illegally deported. I'll take my charge for that. He admitted that. He said, I'll admit that. I'll admit that I wanted her deported, but I ain't want her unalive. I just want her scared. I wanted them to scare her. I didn't want them to unalive her, okay? That's what he said. Even though the words that he used in the text message was, this would be a more permanent situation, okay? He wanted her gone, not just deported. He wanted her off, and he said this would be a more permanent situation. This is the words he said. If there's a cheaper way to get rid of her, that would be good too, and it would be more definite. Because the issue with immigration and so many lawyers, if I come across a bad guy, she may end up staying, okay? He says, I want to make sure whoever orchestrates it, make sure that my kids are not going to be present. And he says, this is not a spur of the moment emotional reaction. I tried to previously hire a hitman to unalive her, but they wanted to charge me too much money. I paid $10K to have her surveillance, but they wanted too much money, okay? And the undercover agent responded, she will be taken out without them present, okay? The undercover officer replied, she will be taken out without them present. So he very much knew that she would be taken out, okay? Unalive, depleted, gone, okay? So he can't even come back and try to say now, oh, I just want her scared. I just wanted them to scare her, shake her up, beat her up, make her want to leave, make her want to, give up custody of the kids or whatever and leave. So anywho, she's still alive. She's out. She's telling her story. She's became a stronger person since leaving him, okay? She's an advocate now for other women that have come to America and married these type of guys or had babies by these guys, and then all of a sudden they want to rip you from your children, get you illegally deported. It's so much, man, I'm telling you, this world is crooked, child. Get you illegally deported or even depleted, all because they don't want to pay for their children. They don't want to pay no money. They figure why get you money and other upgrade your lifestyle, and he over there with somebody else probably, right? He's a horrible man. He's abusive. He's controlling, and he wanted to get away with it. He wanted to be able to do all of this, and he wanted her to walk away with nothing. That's what they want. That's what they want. When they get rid of you, when they no longer, or you no longer want to be with them, they want you gone, and they want you to have nothing. Oh, and guess what? When I did a little bit more research, when they were in Zimbabwe, he actually had her locked up, okay? He had her locked up because she would not leave the premises of where they used to stay. She wouldn't leave. She said, I'm not going nowhere. So he had her, the mother of his children, locked up and didn't care. But the universe, as Callie told us, the universe will always show itself, show its face. The universe, he had her locked up, right? And when she was locked up, she took the daughter with her. She wouldn't even give up a child. So the daughter was locked up in prison with her, right? And it wasn't for long. I think it was only like a couple of weeks or something like that, right? He had her locked up. And he thought it, he thought it was a cool thing or whatever for her to actually be locked up. But the universe always show his face. Now, guess what? He locked up. He locked up for 10 years. That shows you can't go around doing bad to people, right? And think you're going to get away with it. Because what is it? The hole you dig for somebody else, you may just fall into it, okay? He wanted her, again, illegally deported, gone from the United States. He wanted her children to be ripped from her, and he wanted her unalived, okay? Now, where is he sitting? Huh? An attorney with a successful profession, okay? He was making good money in Massachusetts, right? Now he in jail. He in prison. He ripped from his kids. The very thing that he wanted for her is happening to him. The only thing, he gets to come out one day, right? But he got to face those children one day, or maybe not, right? 10 years, I don't think is long enough. What do y'all think? What do y'all think? 10 years? That law needs to be changed, but this was in San Francisco, California. I do think that 10 years, I think it should have been at least 20 or 25 years. That's my opinion. That is my opinion. Horrible person. Now, we all know that Korra Obidi got attacked in London, okay? No one knows who sent that female to attack Korra Obidi. But once they do the investigation, which they're supposed to be doing it right now, I do believe it's going to come out, and they're going to find out that whoever went to attack Korra was sent, baby. You hear me? Was sent. These men want these immigrant women unalived. They have kids by them, and they don't want to stomach seeing these immigrant women come over here and better their lives. That's what happened. When they get away from these abusive, manipulative, narcissistic men, they end up thriving and doing well. A lot of them do, right? And these men can't take it. They're like, you wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for me. You wouldn't even be an American citizen if it wasn't for me. They hate it. They hate when these women come over here, get these citizenships, and they're able to stay, and they're no longer with that man. So again, the Korra Obidi situation is being investigated. It sounded too familiar because they too went through a long, drawn-out custody battle. Long, drawn-out custody battle, and she ended up winning. Well, actually, I think they got joint custody, but she is the primary custodial parent, okay? And y'all know Justin Dean does not like that. He still, to this day, do not want Korra Obidi to have custody of her kids. Not only did he file to the courts in California, why is this supposed happening in California, right? Not only did he file to the courts that he wanted the kids to be taken away from her, he also asked for her to not have no visitation. Now, what type of man asks for a mother to not have visitation? A horrible ass man. A horrible ass man. Especially when a woman ain't done nothing. She ain't on drugs. She ain't no, she ain't selling her body. I don't even care if she was selling her body. I don't think that that's a reason for a mother not to have visitation with her children, okay? But for a man to ask for a mom to not have visitation with her kids is a jealous, bitter, evil-ass man, in my opinion, okay? So this attorney, Alan Gessen, he fell in the hole that he tried to dig for this female. And now she was a model in Zimbabwe, okay? And then this picture y'all see right here is after they broke into her house and beat her, blackened her eye. They almost left her unalive, but they didn't do it, okay? Dimitri said, if these men don't want to do right by these women, they need to leave them in their country. Exactly. But let me tell you something, Dimitri. The reason why they bring them over here, because listen, anytime you're taken out of your element, you're going to rely heavily on the person that, the one person that you know and trust, okay? So when they're over there in that country, they got support, they got their family, they got their friends, and they got their law, right? But when they take them out of their comfortability and they bring them somewhere that they're not comfortable, that person is going to trust you, rely on you, and then they're going to be scared to do certain things because they're going to be scared to be deported, right? Anytime you take it out of your element, you're going to be a little bit more submissive and a little bit more cooperative with the one person that you know. That's why they don't like them to develop friendships. They don't like them to join organizations and get to know the American way of doing things because they want them in that little box. I'm going to go a step further and say they take them purposely out of their country and bring them to America for that reason, okay? They figure, you don't know the law. You don't know how it goes. I'm going to do this to you and I'm going to have that done to you. I'm sure he has probably made many threats to her. If you don't behave, if you don't do this and you don't do that, I'm going to have you deported. You know how many immigrant women probably get threatened to be deported, right? They probably get threatened a lot. And I don't think anybody that get a chance to come to the United States want to be deported. You don't want to be deported because if you're deported, it's hard for you to come back, okay? If you leave, you leave, right? But most people that come to America, they want joint citizenship. They still want to be citizens of their own country. But if they, be so blessed to become an American citizen, they want that. But these men try to control them, okay? So, yeah, that's the story of this attorney. He just threw away his whole damn life, okay? What a waste of a man. Miss Key says, it's crazy because it happens more than we think. These men do not want to pay child support. Exactly. They don't want to pay child support. I think I said this yesterday on one of my lives. They don't want to pay child support and they really don't want the kids. But because they don't want to pay child support and they want to hurt you, they will fight you for the kids or attempt to fight you for the kids. And it's all to hurt you. It's all to hurt you. If they can keep their, $5,000, $10,000, whatever the case may be, in their own pocket and spend it on another woman, right? Or their lifestyle, they'll rather do that. They don't want to get that money to you. They feel like the child support is going to benefit you. That's what they think. And I can't stand that, actually. I can't stand that that's the way their mind is set up. That, it's going to benefit your life. It's going to upgrade you. It's going to upgrade you, so I don't want to have to pay it to you. I don't want to take care of you if I'm not going to be with you. That's how they think. And they think their child support is going to take care of the baby's mom. That's crazy, huh? Angel said all this happened often. She said it happens all too often. I believe it. I absolutely believe it. I believe that it happens all too often. She said, just imagine how many has gotten away with this. Exactly, Tamara. And that's why I said if this guy was not an undercover officer, she would not be here today. These kids would be motherless, and he would not care that his 2 children were going to be left motherless. He wouldn't have gave a care. Okay? He wouldn't care. He wouldn't have cared not one bit. And the fact that it happened in the United States is even better because our laws are just a little bit better than other places because they also lived in Russia too. Now I don't know Russia law at all, but I don't know if he would have been able to get away with it in Russia. I don't know. I don't know too much about Russia at all, except for what I see on the news. Okay. But it just don't happen to happen here in the United States. Okay. Platinum Bracelet said, my office is fighting a Guatemalan deportation now because her hubby dropped a dime on her because she overstayed her visa and wanted out of an abusive marriage. This is eerie. Yes. And that's the thing. He had actually bribed a deportation officer and was going to pay $100,000, right? He was willing to pay the $100,000, but when he said, wait a minute, $50K, I would rather pay $50K to have her off than $100,000 to lie and have her deported. Now, in my opinion, I believe, hey, Platinum Bracelet, long time no see. I believe that they should have some type of law in place for people that works in the deportation and stuff like that to do a thorough investigation, right? Before they just deport these women, right? These immigrant women. I believe that they should do a thorough investigation and find out what's really going on before they actually grant the deportation. Because 9 times out of 10, the person that is applying for the deportation or pushing it is the ex that don't want the woman here. Okay. Dimitri said God was with her for him to talk with an undercover agent. Girl, you better know it. And I'm pretty sure he's hating he's probably like, God dang it. And the thing about it is he was introduced to the undercover agent that was actually working on a whole different case for him. This undercover agent that he was introduced to was working on a separate FBI investigation in a violation to international money laundering. Had nothing to do with what he wanted this guy for, right? But he just felt so comfortable with this guy. Who does that, right? Who does that? He was so desperate. This 49-year-old man was so desperate that when he met with this undercover agent, not knowing that he was an agent, just thought it was just some random ass guy, right? He was just spilling all the beans, telling this man how miserable he was having to deal with all these custody proceedings. But I wonder how many other random ass people that he met and told the same story to, right? But the undercover agent took the bite, meaning, he acted like he was interested in the deal, right? But we're glad that it was an undercover agent. And the undercover agent apparently wasn't a bad guy. Because if the undercover agent was a bad guy, he could have just took the $50,000 and he could have been gone. But he got the guy in trouble. Okay. He testified against him in court, right? And he got caught. So now he's doing 10 years, even though he wanted her. He wanted the worst for her, and now the worst is happening to him. Because now, not only is he losing custody of his kids, he got to go sit down somewhere for 10 years. So now he done lost his kids, he done lost the woman, and now he's going to lose his attorney license. And then he's going to have 10 years to sit down and think about what the heck he did. Big dummy. I swear these criminals are just the worst. Dumbass criminals. Rachel said Big Dummy didn't think it all the way through. He was too comfortable doing this. Exactly. Right? He was too comfortable. Kimberly said, no, he desperate to get out of prison. Big Dummy. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He wants out. He did an appeal, and the judge said, nah, not going to be able to do it. The appeal he tried to do last year. The judge said, no. You caught. And the thing about it, y'all, he did it in text message and voicemail. I mean, leaving a message on the voice call. Well, how more dumb can you be? Electronic messages he left this undercover FBI agent. Just writing the plot out. Just texting them back and forth. And I need to make sure you do this too now. And I need to make sure you do this. And yeah, knock over the lamp too. And I mean, he gave details of how he wanted this to be carried out. He is a big dummy, okay? He is a big dummy. She said, you got to be a special kind of dummy. Absolutely. He felt that he could outsmart the court system. Yep. And you want to know why? Because he was an attorney. Because he's an attorney. Hey, Sonia, how are you? Because he's an attorney. Yeah. He thought, oh, I can get away with this. I can get away with this. They're going to believe me. And another thing, and we ain't going to make this a race issue, but how many of these situations has happened and they didn't believe the woman because of her color, right? Or her lack of knowledge of the law. She could have been depleted. The FBI agents reached out to her and they said, ma'am, we need to let you know something. She says, what's that? What do you need to let me know? And they said, matter of fact, I'm gonna pull it up. And they said, ma'am, your ex has hired someone to off you. She didn't believe it. She's like, are you sure? Hold on, I'm gonna bring that up. We're gonna listen to just a little bit of it. Not the whole thing, but just a little bit. Just a little bit. She says, are you sure? She couldn't even believe it. Are you sure? Like, come on now. Are you sure? You can't possibly really be sure, right? That the father of my children wanted me gone. You can't possibly be for real. They said, we are for real. He wanted you gone. He wanted you DX. She was like, oh my God. And again, had that not been an undercover agent, she would have been gone. All right. Hold on. I'm going to try to bring up when she came on YouTube and explained how they contacted her and told her that her ex had hired someone to have her off. Like, what would you do? Hey, Lynette, how are you? What would you do if you find out that your ex, the father of your children, done paid money, good money? That's what I said yesterday. Don't pay no money to off me. You want these kids? Here they go. Right? Y'all know I be playing, but I be for real. Hold on, I'm going to pull up the article in just a second. But what would you do if an officer reached out to you and tell you that we got to put you in hiding temporarily until this case is over with because you got a hit on your life? Huh? What would you do? What would you do if you find out you have a hit on your life? You got a hit on your life, and your baby daddy is the one that put the hit on your life. It was your baby daddy. Hold on, let me see if I can bring it up. Let me show y'all this beautiful woman. Hold on, here we go. Let me bring it up right quick. It's gonna let me, hold on. Oh shoot, I didn't mean to do that. Hold on, I'm gonna try to bring it up. I'm gonna try to bring it up. I want y'all to see this. You got a hit on your life. What would you do? Your baby daddy. Your baby daddy. Listen to Priscilla explain.
This is the story.
How when she found out that her baby's father had a hit on her life, she didn't know what to do. Here we go. Hold on. Can you see it? All right, let's listen to a little bit of it, okay? Let's listen to a little bit of it.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Priscilla Chicariro. If this is your first time here, welcome. This is the story of my marriage. Please go back and start from chapter 1, part 1, which I've linked in the description box if this is your first time here. If it's not, well, this is the end. Well, It's not the end, but it is the final chapter of this particular story and what I am able to share with you. I wanted to thank everybody that has been watching and commenting and sharing, and all those people that have written to me about their experiences and what impact listening to my stories have had on them. It's had a similar impact on me. At the beginning of this journey, telling this story, I was very.
If anybody wants the link, I'll drop it as well, so you
This
see the
did
whole
nothing
thing.
to make me feel any better. If anything, I started to feel worse. Like, okay, what now? What's going on? And I immediately thought.
Oh, I'm sorry. I skipped it through. Hold on.
Very anxious. I was very nervous. And
hold on, I want y'all to hear what happened.
Well, it's not the end, but it is the final chapter of this particular story and what I am able to share with you. I wanted to thank everybody that has been watching and commenting and sharing, and all those people that have written to me about their experiences and what impact listening to my stories have had.
That's the link. I just dropped it to Mira, and she goes on to explain. She did like a 5-part series of everything that she endured with this man, you know, getting beat, cheated on, threatened, abused mentally, verbally. She goes on to tell all the mistreatment that she had in her marriage before he tried to have her off, depleted, okay?
On them. It's had a similar impact on me. At the beginning of this journey, telling this story, I was very anxious, I was very nervous, and I wasn't sure what the response was going to be from people. It is a story that had been buried in me, that I had been carrying around with me for such a long time. It weighed on me so heavily. But at the same time, you know, you never feel like you are going to be understood or sympathized with. But you, my new support group, made me feel as though I wasn't strange for feeling the way that I was feeling, and
let me just stop right quick and say this as well. And that's why I said this is so familiar with the Korra Obidi story, because this attorney actually put out a whole bunch of articles defaming this woman, making this woman seem like the worst woman in the world. And that's what they do as well. They not only want to get rid of you, unalive you, they want to defame you. They want to leave traces out there on the internet to make you look like the worst person in the world. You know how it is with the smear campaign. They want to paint the picture, the horrible picture for everybody to make everybody think that you are the worst person in the world. And that is what he also did to her. Okay? Wrote plenty articles defaming her name.
The strength to actually continue to heal. And I read somewhere this week that healing begins when one bears witness to what has happened to you and believes you. And that is how I feel. I feel like you've all borne witness to what happened to me and listened to me, which is all I wanted, to be heard. So without further ado, Chapter 5 begins and concludes today. Thank you so much for watching.
It's coming up, you guys. Hold on. I'm just going to wait till you go through all of that. It's coming. She said, and the sad part about it, about these men, yep, they smear your name. That's what they try to do. All right, hold on. Here we go.
Lives with one can never be fully prepared for moments in their lives which are.
For those that are just coming in, because I noticed like 10 people just came in, we are talking about Priscilla Shakiro and her now ex and he's also the father of her 2 children. He's an American attorney that was charged and sentenced to prison for 10 years for plotting to have her unalived, okay? All because he did not want to pay child support and did not want her to have custody of the kids because he didn't want to pay child support. So he plotted to, one, have her deported, but when he found out that he can have her unalived for $50,000 less, he took that on and he wanted someone to unalive her all because of child support, okay? All because of child support, okay? She is from Zimbabwe. He brought her to America. She did not know the American law. He abused her. He physically, mentally, and emotionally abused her and threatened to have her deported many times. And then he tried to hire someone to unalive her, but he hired the wrong individual. He ended up hiring an undercover FBI agent, and that is how he got caught. Okay, here we go.
Going to be of great impact, or which are going to be so significant they change you completely and they open your eyes and you completely start to see the world in a very different way. This was what happened to me on that day, July 28th, 2022. I stood there in front of these agents and I looked at them, waiting for them to tell me why they had come. Then they began their story. They told me that they had come because of my ex. This did nothing to make me feel any better. If anything, I started to feel worse, like, okay, what now? What's going on? And I immediately thought, oh my gosh, he has my children. What happens to my children? And I think they saw this because they told me immediately that no, my children were safe. And in fact, they had my children. And I could go and pick up my children after they had finished talking to me. This scared me. So I asked them what happened. Then they told me that they had arrested him. I asked for what? And they said to me they had arrested him on murder for hire charges. I didn't understand what that meant, so I asked them to explain. And they said to me that he had hired a hitman to kill me. I cannot even begin to explain how I felt in that moment. All I remember was this feeling of, I don't know, I don't even know how to explain it. It was almost like I stopped feeling anything. I think I started crying because they said to me, it's okay, I could cry. But I could feel the tears on my face, but I was so confused. I could not digest it. I could not understand it. It was refusing to sink in. Like, I could not put the two together, that my ex, this hitman, and me.
I can only imagine what this young lady is saying. Like, I understand what she means. Like, you wouldn't even know how to react. Like, you're just now hearing a man that you've been battling, custody with for a long time, just hired someone off you. I'm sure every last one of us in here would feel the exact same way. Speechless. You would not know what to do, She said, Amor, I love how you keep explaining it step by step. Some people are funny about that, not me. Oh no, I like to break it down, Lynette. I hope this doesn't bother nobody, but everybody that on here knows that I stop and I talk and I continue to play because I like to break it down. I just don't like to play it. I like to give my commentary on it. So just be patient with me. Thank you, though. I appreciate that, Lynette.
All in one sentence. It made no sense to me. Because this is an ongoing case, I am not able to share all the details of what they spoke to me about, but I have linked the article to this particular arrest in the description box below for you to read the details that are known to the public. We spoke for about an hour. At the end of the hour, I sort of went right back into survival mode, I would say. My only thought was picking up my children, bringing them home, and starting once again to try to figure out what I was going to do. But to begin with, I still had to cancel everything that I had planned for that day. I had booked a U-Haul so that I could move. I called and I canceled that. I had asked some friends to come and help me as well to move. I had to cancel that. And then I had to drive. I drove with a friend an hour and a half to go and pick up my children. My son was completely distraught. He had had an argument, a disagreement with his dad the night before, and he hadn't said goodnight to him. He had refused to say goodnight and had gone to bed and had just woken up in the morning and his dad was gone. They had picked him up early in the morning, just before they had, well, I think just as they were getting to me, they were getting to him. So he hadn't seen him. He had no time to apologize or to say anything. When I saw him, he burst out crying and he was like, no, I didn't get a chance to say I was sorry. I didn't get a chance to say goodbye.
So now, not only is this going to affect her, right, knowing that her kid's father wanted to off her, how do you think those children are going to feel? Because one of the kids, I think the 8-year-old, the son, was 8 years old. Now he knows that his dad is in prison for the next 10 years for wanting to off his mom. And now he's feeling guilt because he's like, dang, I didn't even get to tell my dad goodbye. He's about to be gone for 10 years and I didn't even get to tell him bye or I'm sorry, right? Because again, they got into it or whatever. But now this is about to affect her children. They're going to have to stay in counseling.
It was really hard for him. I called his therapist and made arrangements to see him that very same day. I didn't tell my children what had happened. I made up a reason for him being taken. The rest of the day, I completely was on autopilot. I think I was in shock because all I remember is, for those that drink alcohol, you know how you feel when you're like drunk, like you can't really tell what's going on, but you can, like, you know, you're going through.
She was disoriented is what she was.
Emotions of normal life, you can talk and everything, but your head is a mess. That was me that day. He had his arraignment on the same day, and I went to the court because I just couldn't believe it. Even though, like, I kept getting the same information and I was being told. When I picked up my children, I had another meeting with the agents and they told me what they could. And I think I kept asking them the same question, like, are you sure? Are you sure? Are you like 100% sure? Like, what's going on? But, you know, obviously, you're innocent until proven guilty, and he has not been to trial yet. So that is something I will give another life update when it's possible. But I couldn't even believe that this was something that could even be an allegation. I couldn't believe that things had come to this. Of all the things in the world, I was so taken aback because for the past 3 months, things had been so perfect, so stable. So like we were actually communicating and co-parenting so well.
And that's what I was talking about yesterday, y'all. You remember when I said a narcissist will try to come at you and pretend like everything is going well, right? I said they're going to come at you and they're going to say, okay, I want to co-parent correctly. I want to co-parent in peace. I want everything to be right. And they doing that just to get your mind settled. And that's what he did to her. He went to her and he tried to pretend like everything was going to be fine for 3 months when he knew all along he was plotting behind the scene to have her unalive. That's why I said you got to be careful with a narcissist and a huge manipulator, because when they're such an asshole and then all of a sudden out of nowhere, now they don't want to be an asshole no more. Watch yourself even more. They are plotting against you, okay? And that's what she just said. For the last 3 months, they was finally getting along. They was finally co-parenting so well while this man was plotting to have her unalived. Okay, so don't take this type of shit lightly. If you've been dealing with a narcissist and they've been a complete asshole to you, and all of a sudden they out of nowhere start to be nice, you need to be more careful. You need to be more careful. Do not believe them, for real. Okay.
I didn't understand what had happened, why. My sister arrived on the same day. Thank God, because I really needed the support. She came and listened to me like I think, I don't know. I was in a state, to be honest. I must have just we had wine and just talked and talked the whole night because I was so confused. I didn't understand how anybody could wish something like that on me or could want to do something like that. And the impact on my children, so many things were going through my mind. I was just like, wow, how? Our plans to go to Florida and this wonderful holiday that we had planned, I had to put on hold for a couple of days because I then immediately, this had such a huge impact on my entire life. Number one, my children's lives and everything that I had planned for the months going forward. I had to now start fixing everything from the perspective of a single parent. I had sole custody now of my children, and I had to arrange everything. Everything was now on me. Dealing with the trauma of what I had just heard, and I had to keep it together because I had these two people that relied on me, and it was just me. So I did what I had to do. I delayed the trip by a week, but by the end of that week, I realized that the best thing for us would be to leave and to go on holiday so that I would be away from here, because I got so paranoid. I started seeing things. And what was the worst is, it's very different when a person attacks you directly. Like once they're taken away, that threat and that fear goes away with them. It's done. But in this case, it was going to be a stranger, and I didn't know who.
So can you imagine what she's saying? She's like, okay, if it was going to be him, all right, I understand that. I would have been, I would have anticipated it more. But you're telling me a stranger was going to come up to me and unalive me, and I didn't even know who it was going to be. It could have been anybody. It could have been a woman. It could have been a black person, a white person. It could have been an Asian person. It could have been a young person, an old person. She had no idea who was set up to unalive her. How can you be at peace in your life? You're going to be looking over your shoulder for a while because you literally just got told that some strange person was paid to unalive you. You know, a stranger. Oh my God.
So I felt so unsafe. I kept looking over my shoulder. I was like watching for cars following me. I was like afraid to get out of my house and walk down the street. I was like, I got so paranoid. I was at the end, I was just like, no, this is just not okay. Let me get out of town, go take a break, take a breather, try to settle. So we left, we went. It was the best decision ever. My children had an amazing time. I had the time to sort of deal with everything and get to a stage where I was now able to function, to actually understand that this had happened and that I needed to now do certain or take certain steps in order to move forward, and the impact that it had on that it would have on me going forward. We were away for the rest of August, and then we came back. School started. I had moved my kids to a school that was closer now to our home. So having the new schools was amazing, new friends. It was a whole change of environment because this apartment was also new. So in a way, this happened at the right time for my children because we were now in a completely different environment, an environment that helped them to make new attachments and to settle and to start to move on with their lives. I, on the other hand, was just functioning. It's hard. It is so hard being the only one taking care of two children without a job, without any support, nothing. So on top of like the burden of being a single parent, having to be present physically and mentally 24 hours a day, at the same time dealing with this huge trauma myself, I was just like I was functioning, but I think I wasn't functioning. And it started to take its toll. I tried to push forward and to keep going. But in September, I got an invitation to a show in New York for New York Fashion Week, and I really wanted to go. Like, I love fashion. I have always wanted to go to New York Fashion Week. So I was like to myself, you know what? Do this for yourself. Go and, enjoy yourself, meet people, just get out and do something for yourself. So I went to Fashion Week. I went to this show. When I arrived, I was like, I was good. And then I met some people, and people ask you your name, etc., like what you do, and so on. The first person who asked me, I was like, before that, I'd been feeling comfortable, happy, everything. Then someone asked me my name and what I do. And my mind, like, I just got stuck. I literally could not tell them my name. I could not tell them what I did. Because like the first thing that came into my mind was like, oh my God, no, don't tell them your name because they're going to Google you. And then all of this stuff is going to come up. And then you're going to seem so weird, so excited. Like, I had this like new paranoia, this new burden. I could not tell anybody my name. I could not I could not even let anybody know who I was. I was so afraid that people would find out all of these things that had happened. It really surprised me because it wasn't like me to miss opportunities. I completely wasted all the introductions that I was given. My entire purpose and reason for going there was to make connections, to help to build my own career, and I completely missed it because of this fear. When I got back home, that's when it just dawned on me I had to do something. I couldn't live like that. I could not continue. I was not going to grow. I was not going to develop. And this thing that had happened to me was not my fault. I started to, I sat down and like it wasn't even like a one-day process. It's taken me a long time to get to the place that I am today, but I'm not healed. I'm still on that journey, but
Now, I like the way she just said that, because a lot of people, when they get out of situations, they love to just quickly say, I'm healed, I'm healed, I'm healed. Yeah, it sounds good, right? But sometimes you got to be honest with yourself. Sometimes you have to just keep it 100 and say, no, I'm not healed. I'm still traumatized. This still affects me. Okay. So I like that she did that. And I also like the fact that she realized it's not her fault. So some things that happen to us, we need to stop blaming ourselves, and we have to say, it's not my fault that I'm in this situation. That's also a part of healing. You understand what I'm saying? It's not my fault. Stop blaming yourself for it. Okay. It's not your fault. But also admit that you still have triggers. You are not healed. Okay.
in a place where I can look back as though it happened to someone else and I can talk about it. And then when I started to actually analyze what this situation was doing to me, how it was eating at me, how it was literally basically killing me, in essence, giving this person who wanted to extinguish me what they wanted, I realized that, what was the point of it not having happened if I was doing it to myself? So I stopped right there. And I started changing things about myself. I started rebuilding myself one day at a time, changing things I did, motivating myself, and manifesting where I wanted to be and what I wanted to achieve. I was not going to give anybody the satisfaction of knowing that what they had tried to do to me, allegedly tried to do to me, had actually, in a way, been successful.
Mm-hmm.
In October, I started this channel, and my very first video, I was very nervous. I was scared. I didn't know. I didn't even quite understand why I had started the channel, but I felt like I needed to. And as time went on, with every next video that I posted, it became clearer to me why I had done it. And my first reason, when I was supposed to be killed on the 28th of July, the narrative about me that was online was completely controlled by somebody else, my ex, bad articles that had been written about me, little tidbits of information which didn't add up to a very clear picture of who I was. It dawned on me that had I actually died on that day, this version of me would forever be the only version that many people would know, and that included my children. because they would never remember. My son would not remember forever who I was, because he had so much trauma in his life. So many times when he was taken from me, he would not remember me. My daughter is small. She also would not remember me. And then they would be raised by the person who allegedly tried to murder me. And obviously, he would have nothing good to say about me to them. I will never feel safe, 100%. I will forever carry this with me. It will forever be a threat that hangs over my head. So I decided that I wanted to create this channel. I wanted to share what happened to me. I wanted me to be known. I wanted the me that I am to be known. For my children to have a place where they could come if anything ever happens to me, and I would be here. They would be able to listen to me. They would know my story from me, and they would be able to see things that I enjoyed doing and things that I love. And this is something that they will have forever. And I wanted to just show everybody, because a lot of people read articles and heard things, who I am, who I really am, and to hear it from me. And to know that this is just something that happened to me, but it is not me. I am a whole different person. And I never want to be defined by this story. I never want to be defined by someone trying to extinguish me, trying to destroy me.
I like that she's saying that, because she's saying despite everything that has happened to her, she don't want people to be like, oh yeah, that was the lady that had the murder for hire plot against her. That doesn't define who you are. Just like if you have cancer, that doesn't define who you are. If you've been in an abusive relationship, that doesn't define who you are. You are more than your circumstances, okay? And what she's saying is, I don't want people to define me, Priscilla Shakario. I don't want them to define what happened to me as being me. That's not me. That was just a circumstance. And she's over it, she's getting through it.
This is all that I'm able to share with you to date. But this Sunday, I will be starting a new series called Real Talk, where we will discuss and talk about the tools that I used to get where I am now, how I pulled myself from that deep depression and managed to start my process of healing. There's a lot to unpack, and I feel like your interactions with me are what is contributing to my continued healing. Sharing for me has given me a lot. It's made me feel like I'm not alone. And hearing your stories has strengthened me as well. So I'd like to thank you all so much for coming along on this journey with me. And please stay. We have started something, and I hope that we can continue to share and grow and heal. And I I will continue sharing every now and again updates on things that are happening because at the moment I'm still in court with regards to my custody case. My ex is in prison.
Well, hold on. So she's going to say her ex is still in prison, and it just baffles me when I heard this. Her ex is still in prison, and she's still dealing with her custody case. But I mean, I'm sure she's going to get full custody. But it's just you would think that would have been all done at one time, right? But he's in prison, and she's still having to deal with her custody case. Imagine that.
At the moment, awaiting his hearing. So once all of that is concluded, I will share. I'll do another little update. But in the meantime, we will start talking about stuff that is much more motivational, much happier, and yeah, grow and move on and focus on life, focus on being alive. The one thing that I have learned from this experience is tomorrow is not promised to anybody. So you have to live every single day that you have. You wake up tomorrow, look outside, and really live. That's the one good thing that I have gotten from that. Every single day, I try to make it count. I no longer go around or waste my time on things that don't help me grow, because I know that time is limited and you never know, it could end tomorrow. So I'm focused on achieving my goals, and my biggest goal has always been to be happy, to be genuinely happy. I think that's another reason why I am able to tell this story and not feel resentment towards my ex, because I realized that holding resentment and anger towards someone is a heavy burden on me. So I would be achieving nothing by hating him or anything that he's done. I have forgiven him. And if anything, I feel sorry for him. I feel like these have been wasted years which could have been used in a much more constructive fashion, like where we could have all grown, where we could have all found happiness elsewhere. But now he is where he is. And you have to think to yourself, what was the purpose of all this? What was the gain? What was the upside? Nothing.
Right.
So for me, I am determined to live as loudly, as happily as I can. I no longer limit myself from fear of what people think. I no longer limit myself because I'm afraid to fail, because I realize that if I don't do it now, who knows what tomorrow is going to bring? I might not be here. So I might as well just do it. And if you think about it, what is life if you're not living. I'll see you guys on Sunday. And again, thank you so much for watching.
So if y'all want to go to her channel, you can. I think for those that are still dealing with those emotional traumas and need to know, like, how did she pull herself through, I think her channel would be great for you guys to watch. I dropped the link in there for you guys, so you can always click on her channel and just go. She has been through a traumatic experience. I mean, to get a phone call, actually, she didn't get a phone call. They actually came to her house and told her that her ex wanted to have her, or was plotting to have her off, depleted, extinguished, gone, right? And yeah, she has bounced back. And this video was actually taken a year ago, okay? So there's more videos that she has updated since then, going on and, you know, showing her children and telling about her experiences and stuff like that. So if anybody need to, you know, hold on to that, just click on her link and follow her, you know, and listen to her stories, you know. But anyway, I just thought that was an interesting story because, again, if it had not been an undercover FBI agent, she could absolutely have been not here today to share that story, to be here with her children. And this man, which I'm going to put back up, would have gotten away with it, right? And he would be walking around trying to mentally, physically, emotionally abuse someone else, or maybe even try to hire, you know, because if he would have got away with that one, who knows how many other people he would have tried to pay, right? Pay to unalive, okay? $50,000. I'm sure he wished that he would have used that $50,000 in another way. Now, his life is gone as an attorney. He is locked up. He's doing 10 years. When he gets out, he will be on 3 years probation. I feel like he should have gotten way more than 10 years. And I'm sure as the years go on, like, it's been a year now, but I'm sure as the years go on, she is going to become more terrified, because you got to understand, he's going to get out and her son is going to be 18 years old, but she's still going to have a daughter that's, I think, 16, because the daughter was 3. No, she's still going to have a young daughter or something like that. Not young, but, you know, 13, 14 years old or whatever when this man get out. So, yeah. Lauren said, I can't believe he only got 10 years. That's the max, Lauren. To hire someone to unalive somebody, to pay them to unalive somebody, the max is 10 years. It's only 10 years. Okay? But who knows? He might, you know, do something while he's in there, because he looked like an arrogant mofo. He may do something while he's in prison to make it stay longer. She said, I would still be leery because 10 years is not a lot of time for an individual with these type of intentions. But, you know, I think that she may be able to file something because of what he did to have his rights as a parent strictly taken from him. So I don't know. I don't know if she can, but I would think that there's something in place to where she can have him out of her and her children's life forever, okay, or attempt. I definitely wouldn't stay where I was, but then, you know, he knows where her family is in Zimbabwe, you know. I don't know. She got 10 years, well, 9 more now, so I guess we'll just have to see, right? But, you know, I don't know. 10 years is the max, yes. He only has to do 85%, 8 years, I think. I think, is that federal time? Because I want to say you have to do day for day. How much? I think did we discover that the last time? Let me see. How much Fed time do you have to serve? Oh, yeah, you're right, Kimberly. 85%. Dang. Yeah, 8.5 years. You're right. Ooh, Lord. Yeah, okay. So he'll do 8.5 years. Wow. And then he has 3 years probation, which means that if he do something within the first 3 years, he would have to go back and do the rest of his time, which I don't even know how much that rest of the time would be, because they gave him the max. They gave him 10 years. But yeah, 8.5 years of plotting someone, not even just plotting, but paying them, you know, almost half. He paid $23,000 up front, and the cost was $50,000. So he paid almost half of the money up front. He was serious about what it is that he wanted. I'm not sure why in the hell he only got 10 years. I'm just sitting up here baffled, to be honest with you. Baffled, okay? She said, I would be gone. But where would you go? Because her family is in Zimbabwe. And he's well traveled, unless they take his passport. Maybe they would do that, take his passport. I'm not sure. But yeah, I would be gone for where I am, but I'm pretty sure that he will probably be able to find her unless her family moves. You know what I mean? Unless her family moves, but I'm not sure. So yeah, this is crazy, right? It's good and crazy at the same time. It's good that he got caught, right? It's good that it was an undercover agent that he was actually talking to and communicating with, you know. The more and more I do these stories, the more and more I realize that criminals are dumb. Just so dumb. They're so dumb. Like, how much dumber can you be? She said, can they put her in witness protection program? I don't think they can, because, like, who is she a witness to? Like, he would have served. I don't know. She said they will notify her before his release. Yes, Tanya, I do believe that they will notify her. I don't know if they can put her in witness protection program, Tandra, because I thought witness protection was before the person, you go into that before the person goes to trial. That's, you know, for them not to intimidate you, to not testify against them. She said, believe it or not, he will still get visitation. Are you serious, Kim? Lord said ain't so. Are you freaking serious? He will still get visitations. Are you serious? Oh my God, that is crazy. That's sad. If that's true, that is sad. But I don't know. I mean, she has dual citizenship, so she's here in America, between here and Zimbabwe, and she's lived in other countries as well. But anyway, that's all I have for you today. I've been on for an hour and 42 minutes, but I just really wanted to bring you this story because it really just made me think of the Korra Obidi situation with Justin being, trying to fight her for custody of his children. And she was attacked in London when she went on a trip in London. She was attacked by a crazy woman with acid and a knife. So who knows? You know what I mean? Who knows if that was supposed to be her attempt? You know, who knows if this lady was paid or not? But I guess that because they're still doing investigation, we will find out soon. So hopefully I will be bringing you guys news about that real soon. Who knows? She said a judge can terminate his parental rights. She can have her lawyers to fight custody, and his passport will be revoked as well. He should have an order of protection against him. Well, the passport, that he's dual citizen though. He's dual citizen. So I don't know if America can revoke your passport if you are also a citizen of another country. She said, check your inbox. I sent you another story. Okay, thank you, Miss Tanya. So yes, that is what we have for today. Mr. Allen Jensen just ruined his damn life because he didn't want to pay child support. That's what I should have put the title as. Attorney ruins his life and gets 10 years because he didn't want to pay child support, because that's what it was. He did a plot to have her unalived because he didn't want to pay child support. Imagine that, y'all. Let that sink in. All right, you guys, please thumb this video, like, share with your friends or whoever you think may need it. And I will talk to y'all tomorrow with another story. Thank y'all so very much. Love y'all. Bye.